Well, all right, Mar. I think we're live.
Are we live?
And streaming.
Okay, yes.
On Twitch.com.
Wild business.
Wild business. So, what are we here to do?
We're playing Schnapsen today.
We are playing Schnapsen today, exactly, which is
An old medieval Austrian card game. Or maybe German. Paderborn, I just read, has decided that they have records of Schnapsen being played there in in the 1670s or something, or 1640s.
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely old and somewhere in the German-speaking area. Schnapsen is specifically the Austrian version. In Germany it's called 66. Kind of the same game, tiny differences in the rules, and a different set of cards actually, because they use the 9, and in Schnapsen we only use 5 cards from each suit.
Yeah, and actually if you were here last week watching our Stromandel stream, or if you're used to playing with regular playing cards, you're going to notice that there's something a little bit different about these. This is the entirety of the cards we're going to use to play Schnapsen with today. This is it. So as you can see, there's 4 suits. We've got, Mari, you would say the suits, so you got the right accent there. So what has it got here?
Herz,
Herz, yeah.
Eichel,
Eichel,
Schelle,
Schelle,
Laub.
Laub.
It's also called blood sometimes, or green.
And that's hearts, acorns, shells, even though they look like bells,
Yeah,
and leaves.
yeah.
Yeah.
But they actually have an official mapping. Like Eichel is Karo, I know that. This is Pick. Pick is
They show the spades,
spades,
Mhm.
and Eichel is the other
the
one.
diamond.
No, the diamond is
The diamond is a shell. Okay.
Schelle. But it plays no role. They are all of the same value in the suit. There's no preferred suit. It's not like bridge in that sense. And as you can see, the order is also different to most card games, because usually the 10 is rather below the
jack,
the jack. But here it is actually 10 points. How logical. And the ace is 11, so it's the only card that is more valuable. And then since this is a so-called Doppeldeutsche Spielkarten, doppel because it's like the same on both sides as far as I know, like two-face cards, they don't have a queen, they actually have an Ober and an Unter.
Very like last week's cards.
Very like last week's, but last week's have the queen, right?
Oh yeah,
And
sorry,
the
we had a
Ober.
queen
Yeah,
and an over.
they have the
and an
full
Unter.
set,
Yeah.
the full family.
This one, just the queen went
Yeah,
crawling off to the ace.
exactly.
it
The
seems
ace
like.
are the
Yeah.
female-coded cards
Yeah.
here.
So point-wise, this is 11 points. This is 10, 5, 4, 3. Is that right,
No.
Mark? No?
4, 3, 2.
4, 3, 2. Good thing you're here.
Yes.
So 11, 10, 4, 3, and 2.
Yes.
And you'll notice that the kings don't have any names, but the obers and the unters do have names, and you start to kind of get to know your favorites, like tag yourself almost when you're playing. And this guy here, this is our most hated. This is Eatle, and we call him Scheming Little Eagle. Because look at his little hands. He's really a schemer, you can tell. But you might have your own favorites. We also are quite partial to Kuoni.
Yeah. As far as I know, they're all characters in the Wilhelm Tell is himself here, but in the Wilhelm Tell story / in Schiller's play of the same name. But I have never double-checked that. But I think Gessler is the bad guy. If I remember correctly, he's the police. He is the police. There,
I like his bird.
Hermann Gessler.
Falconer.
But I'm not sure. Maybe he's the best friend of Wilhelm Tell. But I think he's the police.
So, what are we doing here, Mar? What's the game?
We're playing Schnapsen. So Schnapsen has the
Shall
name
I-
Schnapsen, which comes from the drink Schnaps, yeah, zusammenhauen, as we say. So it comes from the drink Schnapsen. Why is it named after a drink? The main reason for that is that gambling was illegal, and if you just play for the drinks in a pub, then, well, who's to know why you pay for a round? So it was somehow a little bit evasion of the law and taxes and what else. That gave it the name that this is just a way that is a game that is not played for regular gambling. It's just small gambling for the round that is drunk while it's played. And that is still a tradition. Schnapsen is still not a gambling game at all. It is a game that is sometimes still played for beers.
In our house, for sure.
If anything. So the traditional way of deciding who starts is actually by both players picking a card, and the higher card gets to deal.
So I'm doing pretty good here.
Yeah, it's actually a downside if you're. I don't know. I have a king. What did you have? You have an ace, so you win. Okay, and now you can shuffle.
So just like last week, what we're going to do is play one round where we show all of our cards and just discuss exactly what we're doing. And then we'll play a round where we only show you, the audience, the cards and try and swindle each other.
And this time don't look at the screen while I'm showing the audience.
Yes. It didn't hold you back very much, did it, Mark?
My hand was so good.
And apologies for this very annoying cough that I have. It's more annoying for me than for you, I assure you.
Yeah.
So
3.
Yeah.
In one go. 3. Now the trump comes out.
Now the trump comes out.
It's also called A2 sometimes in...
A2, yeah. That's also how Aleister Crowley calls the trumps of the tarot.
No, you played Schnapsen.
A2 is that the other. So it's Schelle, the ace of Schelles.
Yeah.
Now we might want to talk a little bit about the card that's down here as well. Because there's a moment inside the game where an exciting thing can happen.
Yeah.
Which is that if you have the jack or the unter of a card, you're able to swap it out for the ace.
Yeah, of the same suit.
Of the same suit if you want. Which leads us to having sometimes a situation where you would call like a Schnapsen game where the jack is already here. It's pre-jacked, which is like now slang in our house for, well, not great.
Rigged. Rigged, but
rigged.
in a bad way.
So now 2.
Yes.
And 2. And then we put the rest of the cards here.
Yes.
On
like
top.
This,
like
top.
this.
Yes.
And then we have a look at what we have.
Okay. Ooh. Spicy.
So looking at what I have, I'm just going to show you here, if I can. Here, we've got like the ace and 10 of Lau, which is nice, even nicer if it was the trump. We've got Eichel ace, we've got the king of hearts, and we've got scheming little Edel himself. And you know what that means? When it's my turn, I'm going to be able to swap scheming little Edel for this ace of Schelle.
Yes. So what I have is actually already something very special. Can you see it like this? I have very low cards actually, but extremely good low cards. So what I have here is an Ober and a king of Eichel, and then an Ober and a king of Schelle, and then a useless little Laubober. He's really completely useless for me. But in Schnapsen, one of the the goal of the game is to make 66 points. You have to keep track of your points yourself. You are let's play it so that you're allowed to look at your own cards, but in some in tournament settings you're not even allowed to look at your own tricks. So
you have to keep a running
points.
total constantly.
Exactly. And you have to remember what cards were played, because the longer the game goes, the more information you have about the other person's hand. So 66 points. You can do that by making tricks. So if I beat a 10 that Char plays with an ace, then I make 21 points, 10 for the 10 and 11 for the ace. Great, that's a really good trick. That's nearly a third of my points. So that's really something you want. But smaller tricks, like if I make an unter with this over, well then it's 2 plus 3, it's 5 points. It's like
big whoop.
Big whoop,
as they say.
But there's another way of making a lot of points, and that is by marriages. Now, marriages are between a king and an Ober in this fantasy world that this game plays in. And the marriage is worth 20 points if it's any old marriage, like these two, the Eichel one. But it's 40 points if it's the trump cards. Now, you also have to score a trick to secure the marriage. So only playing the marriage is not enough. You also have to still make at least one trick to get the points. But then, what I have in my hand is actually 60 points. So if I don't play very badly, I can win this game very easily.
Fingers crossed for
yes.
very badly.
Well, I mean, honestly, in this case,
I know, we know what's happening.
I should zudrehen. Maybe we just play it like that. Let's play it like that. Let's just show how it really, that's what I should do.
We should show how we really play, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So there will be a special rule that comes into play, and we will do another open round to explain what it is, because the cards suggest that we do something spectacular. Okay, so I have 60 points in my hand. Now the question is, how can I get them home? Because I can only announce a marriage if it's my turn. That is the case actually, because you were dealing.
Yeah.
So one more. So then, what we would normally do is I would play something, and you would play something. At this point, before the deck is used up, before this, how do you call that?
The deck, yeah.
The deck. Before the deck is used up, you can answer with any card you want. You can play whatever card you want in both cases. You don't have to take the trick. As soon as these cards are used up, or if I do the special move I will do in a second, you have to play according to suit order, and you have to take a trick if you can. Why only that late? Because in the moment we cannot really verify if you could have taken a trick. But once all cards have been played, like once we don't take any new cards, it is of course very clear. You can always see if someone is violating the Zugzwang, the Stichzwang or Farbzwang.
Sorry.
Okay, so the special thing I'm going to do is zudrehen. So closing the tab.
It's a nightmare.
I'm doing it. So I'm turning this around.
All my chances gone.
Schelle is still trump. But why am I doing that? Because she can only have 2 trumps. 1 trump is here, 2 trumps are in my hand. So all she can have is the 10 and the Edel. So I know that one of them is lower and one of them is higher. So if I just say 40 now, she has to play trump. Now if she has a 10, she takes it, but I know I'm going to take the next trick, and that's enough to get me over, even if it's only Edel, it's enough to get me over the 66, because then I can take the 40 out. Good. So
I have to play, and because he has closed the deck, I have to play in the suit, so I have to give him Edel. And as usual, Edel has betrayed me.
As usual. So this is 5 points.
Yeah.
So I have 45 points now with this. And now I of course know that she doesn't have the 10 also, because she would have taken this trick. She wouldn't let me get away with this if I... unless you played very clever. Actually, you should have gotten me away. But I played a king, of course. Because the worst thing, like, actually no. If I didn't know that you only have the 10, I would announce the 40. But I'm playing the king because I know what you have. That's 8 more points. That's 13 points. And now I say 20 and enough.
20 and done, yeah.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even matter if I take it. Can I take it even?
No, you can't take it.
I can't even take it.
Yeah, in this case, it's like the trick is not played.
Yeah, and that's important.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the
Because I get
round,
3 points.
if I got nothing at all, which is what happened here, he gets 3 points.
Yes.
If I had less than 33 points, he gets 2 points. And if I have more than 33 points, he gets 1 point.
Yes, and the point counting is actually just a tiny quirk, but if you play it canonically, you play from 7 to 0, so minus points. So you would have 4 points, and I would still have my 7 points.
We've never done that though, because that's just too much of a mental...
But if you get to 0, then you get a bummel. Now the bummel is originally you won a cask of beer. It's an old word for a tiny little cask of beer. But when we were kids, a bummel was painted on the forehead with coal or with a black marker.
Like on Ash Wednesday.
Yes, that's a bummel, yeah. And 3 bummels and out, but that was kid rules. Okay, let's play.
But it's essentially 3-0. We'll do another one, maybe a more normal one now.
Yes. So now it's my turn.
It's very, very snappy.
Very snappy.
We played this a lot on our holidays. We played it a lot when we went to Italy.
No, it's not checked.
It's not checked, no. And when we were in Italy, on our last day of holidays in Italy, a woman came up to us on the street, and we were playing Schnapsen. We were playing Schnapsen every day. And a woman came up and started giving out to us in Italian. So we didn't understand a word of what she was saying, until another passerby came to tell us that she was actually telling us that it's illegal to play cards in public in Italy, and that we were being very, very, very rude by doing so.
I think she wanted to warn us from police.
To warn us
just
so that
had
we
this
wouldn't
very,
get in trouble. Yeah.
A
very
Mediterranean style of being nice.
So we discovered on the last day that we'd been breaking the law all that time.
Yes.
And we've continued to break that law.
But not in Italy, no, because it was the last day.
That's true.
Yeah,
and we haven't been back,
it's not the law, as far as we know. But maybe we've been to another country, but no one was nice enough to warn us.
But as you can see, it's very snappy, this one. So you can get in like a good few hands over 1 pint. The Stromandel is a little bit more, like we played last week, is a little bit more of an...
commitment.
More of a commitment, like it's about 20 minutes per hand.
Yeah, and I think Stromandel is really maybe a sip of red wine, a tea, This
Yeah.
is
This is
a
a
beer
beer
game.
game. Yeah.
This is really a pub game that you can still play. You just won't be very good at it if you had 2 beers because you have to remember all the tricks.
Yeah. So for this one, it's Shella
Yeah.
and it's the Ober, and what that means is that no one's getting this card. Actually, no, you can if you get the Jack, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you have the Jack, you can get this card. Otherwise, you have to get all the way down to the end. Now, what do I have here? I have the King of Shella, which is quite annoying because I would love to be able to take this and get the marriage of 40 points. I also have the 10 of Shella, which is nice. The Ace of Laub, the Unter of Eichel, and the 10 of Hearts. What have you got, Mark?
Well, I got not a lot. So I have the King of Hearts, Lonely, an Exposed 10, which is horrible because it's very easy to lose that one and it's a lot of points. An Ober and an Unter in Laub and the little Unter there that doesn't really do anything for me because I can't take any tricks most likely very easily. So looking good for you.
Looking
good.
Okay. Looking okay. Okay, so I'm going to start by playing my Ace of Laub.
Very good. Gets you an Unter of Laub.
Great. So that's 11 and 2, which is 13 points. And so I've got 13 points to hold on to in my head here.
You
And
took
we
the
take a
trick, so
card.
you take first.
Okay. So then I'm going to try something else again. And now, by the way, remember, when I play this Ace, Martin doesn't have to hold in by suit
Yeah.
order or anything. This is why it's so stressful, this game. It's actually quite tense. You're
Yeah.
playing it on Sunday and you kind of forget to breathe a lot of the time because
Yeah, now I take it, of course,
That's
with
the
my only trump.
which was a little Eagle.
The little Eagle, yeah, he's keen.
You left the little
get a
Eagle there,
card.
you didn't take this. Interesting.
No, because this is 11 points. That's more than I will get with him.
Okay.
Okay, now this is, of course, the highest, so I'm kind of forcing a trump from you.
Yes. And I will take it with my 10, and that's 20 points. So now I have 33
Yeah.
points. And then I get to draw first.
Nothing.
And Mar doesn't have many
13
trumps, so
points.
let's see what I can do with this 10 of hearts here.
Ooh, thank you.
Oh, that wasn't great.
13, 23, 34 points. So I'm over 33, so I'm definitely not going to
I'm
lose
at
more than
33.
2 points. Okay, you get a card.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Okay, so important thing.
Yeah.
It's actually from here that Fahnenzwang is active.
From what? From when there's one card left?
Yes.
Okay.
I just read in the official rules from the maker of these cards, so that's how it's supposed to be played. Because otherwise, I wouldn't play this to lure out your last trump.
I see. And then I have to give it to you.
Yes,
Mhm.
it's from here on. Because I need this, even if it means that, wait, I have 34, 45, and 4 is
49.
49. 49. And then 20 und genug. I had another 20 sitting here. I had a
You got
second
20
Yeah.
with the marriage of the hearts. And therefore you can see that you can even win when it doesn't even look like you have a good hand. If you're playing against a chump, like me.
Well, so I learned this card game from my grandfather when I was a kid. I haven't played it in 20 years and in 30 years until I showed it to you. Maybe even in 35 years. No one in my family ever played Schnapsen with me. No one of my friends. It was really just I have childhood memories and then we started playing.
Yeah. And we
I'm not
played
sure,
it for
yeah.
we played it for like 3 years, like pretty.
It was really good. And then
Pretty
we started to
intensively.
go to Piquet, which I think
Yeah.
should be our next game.
I think so, yeah.
Which is a more sophisticated French version that's also same age and it's definitely related. It's a little bit more juicy, a little bit more elaborate, but also not as good as Strohmadel.
But then, Strohmadel really like stole our hearts.
Yes.
Okay, Mar, I'm gonna.
It's
Draw?
your turn.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Hey, I haven't split.
Oh.
That's very important. Very important. You say you put it down.
Okay.
And then this and this. The camera is shaking, but for this, it's just full screen effect.
Uh-huh. 3. Okay, we've got the 10 of Laub out there. And that's what we're working with.
Okay, so now we're not showing what we have.
No, but I'm showing the camera. So if you would mind not looking, Mar, this is what I have. My friends, you can see what we got.
Okay, you look away too, and
Yeah.
not to the camera this time. Yeah.
Okay.
Looking
okay?
20. Not gonna win this one.
Okay.
You had 33 points before, right?
I did.
Yeah, so you're down to 2 points now.
Mm.
We're not gonna win. Pooh!
He gets the eagle.
But I also get to book my 20. That's super nice. So 2 and 3 is 5, 25 points. Nice. Nice. Well, this is sadly
Very sad.
bullshit.
Okay. So at this point, I have to do something to take this game back. I don't know if I can win. You might be too far ahead.
Should be able to win it.
I should be able to win it. But the only way I can actually do something now is by using my ace to take this boring king, which gives me
Because you want the 40. Yeah.
15 points.
Yeah.
And so I take the 15 points and I put that over here.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to
Yeah.
use
Yeah.
my little jack to take
Yeah.
the 10. Which lets me take the 10 into hand, and then I can draw a card. And this is a bit tricky because Mar is still not, obliged to play by suit rules. We don't have all that much to bargain with. So I'm going to just try something.
Yeah, I take it.
He takes it. We're doomed.
35. 39 points. So it's also very important in Schnapsen, that's also from my grandfather, to make this little cross-shaped thing for the tricks. I don't know why that is important, but it's very important.
Well, my grandfather also thought that kind of trick-taking etiquette was very important.
Yeah. Okay, but I mean, that is kind of the end of my
That's the end of your...
lucky streak
Okay.
here. All I can do is
I
like...
have 25.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take this so that I have 45. Because then at least I'm above the 33. And then I take this guy. And then I'm going to try out this ace. So this is now 58.
You should be able to do the trick with
And I take this guy.
the Oba. Like you know that the
Yeah.
Oba is the only remaining.
8, and that is
5.
63. And then maybe that'll help me to get to the end. Yes!
So I had 20, 30, yeah, I had 33 points. So
Yeah.
so I have 5, and you have
2?
2.
1?
2. Yeah.
So that is the game of Schnapsen.
Yeah.
And next time, we're not going to be playing next week because we're going to be having visitors.
Yeah.
But the week after, we will try out PK.
I think so, yeah. I think PK comes next. And what comes after that? Maybe we do a
maybe we
digital
try
stream.
66.
Yeah, or we do a digital
Or
stream.
we do a Slay the Spire stream,
Yeah.
maybe.
I think that would be nice.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you for watching. If you have any questions about the rules or about how we played or anything like that, feel free to send us a message, hello@neonaurelius.com, or just put a comment in. And do you have anything to add more?
YouTube.
Yeah, we'll upload it on YouTube.
No, I think this was lovely.
Okay, bye.
Bye.